Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
One of a pair of mechanical devices that are attached to a ski and that will grip a ski boot. The binding should release in case of a fall. The protective covering on the front, back, and spine of a book. The book had a leather binding. The act of applying a bandage. Executed with proper legal authority. A binding contract. Strip sewn over or along an edge for reinforcement or decoration. The capacity to attract and hold something. One of a pair of mechanical devices that are attached to a ski and that will grip a ski boot. The binding should release in case of a fall. A support that you can lean against while sitting. The back of the dental chair was adjustable. Give support or one's approval to. I can't back this plan. Establish as valid or genuine. Can you back up your claims? The side that goes last or is not normally seen. He wrote the date on the back of the photograph. The protective covering on the front, back, and spine of a book. The series of vertebrae forming the axis of the skeleton and protecting the spinal cord. The fall broke his back. The posterior part of a human, or animal, body from the neck to the end of the spine. His back was nicely tanned. In or to or toward a pastime. Set the clocks back an hour. Place a bet on. Which horse are you backing? Be behind. Approve of. I backed Kennedy in 1960. Located at or near the back of an animal. Back, or hind, legs. The part of something that is furthest from the normal viewer. He stood at the back of the stage. At or to or toward the back or rear. He moved back. American football. The position of a player on a football team who is stationed behind the line of scrimmage. Be in back of. My garage backs their yard. Cause to travel backward. Back the car into the parking spot. Football. A person who plays in the backfield. Of an earlier date. Back issues of the magazine. Related to or located at the back. The backyard. Shift to a counterclockwise direction. The wind backed. Strengthen by providing with a back or backing. Support financial backing for. Back this enterprise. The part of a garment that covers the back of your body. They pinned a "kick me" sign on his back. Travel backward. Back into the driveway. The protective covering on the front, back, and spine of a book. A recording of a song that was first recorded or made popular by somebody else. They made a cover of a Beatles song. Form a cover over. The grass covered the grave. Clothe, as if for protection from the elements. Cover your head. A fixed charge by a restaurant or nightclub over and above the charge for food and drink. The act of concealing the existence of something by obstructing the view of it. The cover concealed their guns from enemy aircraft. Travel across or pass over. The caravan covered almost 100 miles each day. Span an interval of distance, space or time. The period covered the turn of the century. A covering that serves to conceal or shelter something. Under cover of darkness. Include in scope. Include as part of something broader. Have as one sphere or territory. This should cover everyone in the group. Fire that makes it difficult for the enemy to fire on your own individuals or formations. Artillery provided covering fire for the withdrawal. Put something on top of something else. Cover the meat with a lot of gravy. A natural object that covers or envelops. Under a covering of dust. The protective covering on the front, back, and spine of a book. Make up for shortcomings or a feeling of inferiority by exaggerating good qualities. Bedding that keeps a person warm in bed. He pulled the covers over his head and went to sleep. Hide from view or knowledge. The president covered the fact that he bugged the offices in the White House. Be responsible for reporting the details of, as in journalism. The cub reporter covered New York City. Covering for a hole, especially a hole in the top of a container. Put the cover back on the kettle. Act on verbally or in some form of artistic expression. The course covered all of Western civilization. Sit on, eggs. The female covers the eggs. Protect by insurance. The insurance won't cover this. Cover as if with a shroud. Copulate with a female, used especially of horses. The horse covers the mare. A false identity and background, especially one created for an undercover agent. Her new name and passport or cover for her next assignment. Be responsible for guarding an opponent in a game. Be sufficient to meet, defray, or offset the charge or cost of. Is this enough to cover the check? Help out by taking someone's place and temporarily assuming his responsibilities. She is covering for our secretary who is ill this week. Hold within range of an aimed firearm. Invest with a large or excessive amount of something. She covered herself with glory. Maintain a check on, especially by patrolling. The second officer covered the top floor. Play a higher card than the one previously played. Smith covered again. Protect or defend, a position in a game. He covered left field. Provide for. The grant doesn't cover my salary. Provide with a covering or cause to be covered. Cover her face with a handkerchief. Spread over a surface to conceal or protect. This paint covers well. To take an action to protect against future problems. Count the cash in the drawer twice just to cover yourself. The act of applying a bandage. Making fertile as by applying fertilizer or manure. The activity of getting dressed, putting on clothes. A mixture of seasoned ingredients used to stuff meats and vegetables. A cloth covering for a wound or sore. Savory dressings for salads, basically of two kinds, either the thin French or vinaigrette type or the creamy mayonnaise type. The act of applying a bandage. Processes in the conversion of rough hides into leather. Still legally acceptable. The license is still valid. well grounded in logic or truth or having legal force. A valid inference. Mechanism consisting of a device that works on mechanical principles. A covering that is intended to protect from damage or injury. A covering that is intended to protect from damage or injury. The tough natural covering of some organisms. Payment extorted by gangsters on threat of violence. Every store in the neighborhood had to pay him protection. A covering that is intended to protect from damage or injury. They had no protection from the fallout. Defense against financial failure, financial independence. Insurance provided protection against loss of wages due to illness. The imposition of duties or quotas on imports in order to protect domestic industry against foreign competition. He made trade protection a plank in the party platform. Kindly endorsement and guidance. The condition of being protected. They were huddled together for protection. The activity of protecting someone or something. The witnesses demanded police protection. Professional treatment for illness or injury. Professional treatment for illness or injury. Needlework on which you are working with needle and thread. She put her sewing back in the basket. Joining or attaching by stitches. Needlework on which you are working with needle and thread. The quality of arousing interest, being attractive or something that attracts. Her personality held a strange attraction for him. An entertainer who attracts large audiences. The force by which one object attracts another. A characteristic that provides pleasure and attracts. An entertainment that is offered to the public. The quality of arousing interest, being attractive or something that attracts. Sexual allure. Book binding in which the spine and part of the sides are bound in one material and the rest in another. The spine and much of the sides are a different material from the rest of the cover. Physical objects consisting of a number of pages bound together. The property of something that is great in magnitude. The volume of exports. The magnitude of sound, usually in a specified direction. The kids played their music at full volume. A publication that is one of a set of several similar publications. The third volume was missing. A relative amount. Mix 1 volume of the solution with 10 volumes of water. The amount of three-dimensional space occupied by an object. The gas expanded to twice its original volume. Physical objects consisting of a number of pages bound together. He used a large book as a doorstop. A record in which commercial accounts are recorded. They got a subpoena to examine our books. The sacred writings of Islam revealed by God to the Prophet Muhammad during his life at Mecca and Medina. A compilation of the known facts regarding something or someone. His name is in all the record books. A written version of a play or other dramatic composition, used in preparing for a performance. The sacred writings of the Christian religions. A collection of rules or prescribed standards on the basis of which decisions are made. They run things by the book around here. Arrange for and reserve something for someone else in advance. The agent booked tickets to the show for the whole family. A collection of playing cards satisfying the rules of a card game. A major division of a long written composition. The Book of Isaiah. A number of sheets, ticket or stamps, etc., bound together on one edge. He bought a book of stamps. A written work or composition that has been published, printed on pages bound together. I am reading a good book on economics. Engage for a performance. Her agent had booked her for several concerts in Tokyo. Record a charge in a police register. The policeman booked her when she tried to solicit a man. Register in a hotel booker.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.